guys, Comic Boom here to review Wonder Woman issue 56. This is part 2 of the Witching Hour, which is a weekly event that started 1 week ago with the Witching Hour #1. And this is part 2 for this week, and it's going to carry on for the next 3 weeks for October. It's going to end with the final chapter on October 31st, Halloween. And it's appropriately named The Witching Hour. Now, this is the first chapter of The Witching Hour in the pages of Wonder Woman. Again, the first chapter was in The Witching Hour opening issue, which was fantastic. Really good. It's written by James Tynion and James Tynion IV. And it carries on here in the pages of Wonder Woman. And on the very first page of this Wonder Woman, you see a unicorn there. It's all glowing in bright white. I'll explain that in a moment. But it also explains that you can get the first chapter of this story prior to that. If you really want to be thorough, you should be reading, guys. If you're not reading a Justice League comic, if you're reading only one Justice League comic, it should be Justice League Dark. It's the best. It really is. It's the best out of all of them right now. James Tynion is just doing a fantastic job. So Justice League Dark #3 kind of leads into the part 1 of the Witching Hour. And then, of course, this is Wonder Woman. And basically what's happened here is that the dark forces, when the source wall broke, darker forces of magic that originally, the origins of magic, it was revealed anyways, the origins of magic in the DC universe go back millions of years, and the really dark forces of magic were essentially sort of locked away behind the source wall. That's all you really need to know. And the type of magic that that the DC universe has become accustomed to and wielded by such people as Zatanna and her father Zatara and other people like Dr. Fate, for example, and John Constantine, all those wielders of magic and sorcery, so to speak, they've only really touched upon a fraction of the power of magic. And even the enemies of Wonder Woman, Circe and Hecate, they're very powerful sorceresses as well, but even their power with respect to the magic has been somewhat subdued, apparently it's been revealed. Now apparently Hecate, Wonder Woman's archenemy, she wasn't always that way. Apparently she's existed for millions of years as well, and way back in the day she sort of foresaw the day when the darker forces of magic would be released from behind the source wall. And so what she's done is that she broke up her powerful magic into 5 different entities, and through the centuries Hecate has been sort of breaking up her powerful magic and hiding it basically in individuals from generation to generation. And as the magic has eaten away at the souls and the lives of each individual, once they die, she takes the magic from them and she stores the dark magic into various people as the centuries have gone down. And basically what's happened is Hecate, when Wonder Woman was a small girl in Themyscira, Hecate, through her followers, basically hid a significant portion of her magical powers and darker magics in Wonder Woman. And what's interesting is that Wonder Woman, at least in the pages of Justice League Dark #3, she didn't know she had this magic trapped within her. In fact, most of the people who've had this magic stored within them by Hecate don't know that they're actually vessels and storage vessels for this magic. Wonder Woman didn't know that until the Upside Down Man, who basically was one of the darker sorcerers, darker horrific creatures released from the source wall, who's coming to basically take over and imbue the universe, and particularly Earth, with this darker magic and finally reclaim it. That he basically saw this unique kind of magic he didn't quite understand. He saw something within Wonder Woman, and he sort of turned it on, as he said, or he said he saw a font of power and he turned it on, and Wonder Woman had this incredible magical power, and it was like a power of light, and it pushed the Upside Down Man and the darker forces of magic away, at least temporarily. And as the Upside Down Man said himself, well, you know, that's pretty interesting. So it's going to get interesting, and it is interesting, but now, as the powerful sources of magic have become more prominent, and as Hecate has become more prominent, Hecate now wants to, because she's over the centuries, she's become more and more dark. She's become more and more corrupted by this practice she has of storing her magic in 5 different individuals going down through the centuries from generation to generation. And she wants to get all this magic back. Now, where does that leave Justice League Dark? The members of Justice League Dark, you got to remember that they got together because Wonder Woman saw that something was happening, that magic was all screwed up, that the powers and the forces between divinity and magic were really being corrupted. Zatanna, John Constantine, Dr. Fate, the Swamp Thing, even Bibbo the Detective Chimp, they all noticed that too. Bibbo the Detective Chimp is the sort of patron of the Oblivion Bar, where all the sorcerers go to basically have a few drinks. And there's even a secret door from the Hall of Justice into the Oblivion Bar. Well, the Oblivion Bar's been destroyed by Hecate because she goes and she basically has been collecting now all this magic that she's been storing in these individuals. Now, Wonder Woman is really concerned about this because in Wonder Woman, what happens in this issue is Wonder Woman wants to find Circe, because Circe is actually Circe, the sorceress enemy of Wonder Woman. Her patron goddess was Hecate, and so Wonder Woman doesn't like the idea of having to do this, but she's prepared to make a deal with Circe. In other words, she wants to go and basically ask Circe some questions. And that's a very dangerous thing to do. So they go and they visit Circe on her home turf. And at the beginning, there's a beautiful series of pages here. Again, the art's fantastic. The artist is the art's by Emmanuel Lapacino on pencils, Ray McCarthy on the inks, Romulo Fajudo Jr. on the colors, and Dave Sharp is on the letterer. Yasmin Putri did the cover. It's a beautiful cover, fantastic foil cover, and. Well, they go and they want to capture a unicorn because apparently they want to offer this unicorn up to Circe as sort of a gift to sort of prompt her to help them out. I don't really know why that's the case. They also suggested that they actually need to do this to help save some of these unique creatures of magic because magic's becoming corrupted and darker. So they want to both try to help the unicorn, but they also offer the unicorn up to Circe because they go to Circe's home turf in Aeea, A-E-A-E-A. These places of myth, I'm going to butcher the names. Aeea was where Circe lives. I don't know. Anyways, they get there. And Circe basically agrees that when she sees that Wonder Woman has got this power of Hecate in her, she immediately recognizes the power as being that of the power of Hecate. Circe describes Hecate as basically a primal woman incarnate. She went from maidenhood to motherhood, to crone, birth, creation, death. Her symbol was the full moon, and it was the symbol of mankind's great collective unconscious. And she represented nature itself and the potential of nature. They would come to call her the triple goddess of magic, the Witch Mother. Now, why they call her the triple goddess? Because if it's the triple goddess, I'm reading that phrase, and what's the triple? The triple goddess of magic being what? Birth, creation, death? Are those the three things? I'm assuming. In any event, I'm not really sure, but it's interesting there. The art's really good again. And in any event, so Wonder Woman has all this magic. And Wonder Woman asks Circe, look, I want to be able to control this so I can defeat Hecate. But one of the things that Wonder Woman really shows her stupidity here, and again, I know I'm being hard on Wonder Woman, but it's one of those things where I just... you know what? I guess I don't want Wonder Woman to be... I don't want Wonder Woman to be that perfect, but I want her to occasionally give some clue that she has the wisdom of Athena. She doesn't have any here. Zatanna is right to question her. Wonder Woman just wants Circe to give her the power of Hecate so she can channel it and defeat Hecate, but she completely misses the boat, and she's not thinking or connecting the dots. The entire reason that Hecate is wanting to collect all the power, all the five storage people that are where all her magic is stored, the 5 sorcerers, or where she was storing her magic, the 5 people, she's killing them to take the magic back. She's doing that so that she can defeat the forces behind the source wall, so that she can defeat the upside down man. That's why Hecate is doing that. So, are you really certain that you want to defeat Hecate? Have you completely forgotten the upside down man and the threat of the upside down man? You got to figure whether the devil you know is worse than the devil you don't. Because quite frankly, wouldn't you rather have Hecate getting her magic back? A magic that you're more familiar with than the magic of the Upside Down Man and the sources behind the source wall? Wonder Woman is not thinking this through. That's the one thing that's really off here. And Wonder Woman's focus seems to be on defeating Hecate. When Hecate here, I mean, I don't know, was she not paying attention in the pages of Justice League Dark? The Upside Down Man's the threat. You know, but yet Hecate just wants to defeat the Upside Down Man. So really, this threat that Wonder Woman has to address and the Justice League Dark need to address is that they've got to, not only do they need to defeat the forces of the Upside Down Man, but they think they need to defeat Hecate. And I'm not sure that they do, because even as Cersei indicates to them, you don't, or Circe, or whatever you say her name, Hecate used to be almost a goddess or a sorceress of light. And in fact, when Wonder Woman defeated the Upside Down Man in Justice League Dark #3, she used light to do so. It was a magical bright light that emanated from Wonder Woman. And so, who's to say that it might be a false assumption to presume that Hecate is this darker magic? Now, Cersei has said that it's a darker magic, that over time Hecate became corrupted, and that the only reason people wrongly think that apparently that Hecate is the patron goddess of Circe is because Circe attracted Hecate toward her because of her own scorn, not because of her own light. So, in any event, my point is that we got two bad guys here potentially. We got the Upside Down Man, we got Hecate. Wonder Woman seems to be more focused on Hecate, and she doesn't seem to, she sort of missed the bigger picture here so far. And I like the fact that Zatanna's giving her a little bit of pushback and saying, hey, wait, maybe Batman was right. Maybe you can't handle this. Maybe you're not thinking this through. And that only pissed off Wonder Woman, which I really like that. I kind of like that drama there. Somebody's got to hold Wonder Woman accountable, because she does an awful lot of stupid things, and I criticize her often the way she's written because she does not possess wisdom. She really, really, truly, genuinely doesn't. I mean, she spends so much time focusing, she's so arrogant and narcissistic on multiple levels, Wonder Woman, sometimes. It's like she thinks that her shit doesn't stink, and that she can use love and compassion and a magic lasso and everything's going to be lovey-dovey and go away. And it's not the case. And I like Zatanna calling her out for it. I really like that. That's good stuff. James Tynion, he gets these characters, and it's good stuff. Some good drama. Now, the other issue here that I didn't even mention is a character by the name of Manitou Dawn. And she was one of the other members in the original incarnation of the Justice League Dark from the New 52. She was a member there. Manitou Dawn is sort of an aboriginal character of magic. And she's also been possessed. And she's also possessed by some of the power of the latent power of Hecate, and she ends up partially destroying, and is in the process of partially destroying Nanda Parbat. Now, Nanda Parbat in the DC universe is sort of a mystical place, and it has got a long history in the DC universe about being a place where a lot of martial artists go to basically meditate and to become one with themselves and go through various trials where they explore their fears and explore and seek their true potential as persons and basically heal from any psychological or even physical injuries. Batman's gone there even after. Batman was gone there a number of times to heal. So other people have, Lady Shiva, various martial artists, even the Bronze Tiger. I'm trying to think. There's another one. Doesn't matter. Suffice to say, a lot of martial artists have gone there, and it's got a history in DC lore. And I love the call out to Nanda Parbat, because it's sort of. It is a mystical place. It's a place that, for whatever reason, seems to be the center point and focal point of a lot of psychological elements of the DC universe, a lot of unconscious, a lot of mysticism, a lot of meditative aspects that heroes go through. It always ends up going back to Nanda Parbat. It's sort of like Tibet. It's like our version of Tibet, where you go. If it was the Marvel universe, you might think it was Kunlun. You'd expect Iron Fist. If Iron Fist was in the DC universe, he'd probably go to Nanda Parbat. Let's put it that way. Okay, it's kind of like that. So now, Manitou Dawn is destroying there because she can't control the power. So Manitou Dawn can't control the power of Hecate. But Wonder Woman can control the power of Hecate because Cersei gives her the ability to do so. And at the end of the issue, Wonder Woman basically says, yes, let's go stop Manitou Dawn from destroying Nanda Parbat. And because Cersei's given her the power to control the power of Hecate. And that's really good. But that's only part of it, because it's one thing to defeat Hecate, but how are you going to defeat the Upside Down Man? And more specifically, if you somehow defeat Hecate and you destroy Hecate's magic or connection to the magic, then how are you going to defeat the Upside Down Man? It seems to me that they got to be very, very careful what they do here. Are they sure that the Upside Down Man is not a worse enemy than Hecate? So they got to pick their battles here, and maybe it's like I said before, you know, the enemy of my enemy is my friend type thing. And you might be very careful what you wish for, because you might want to be careful that you don't end up killing someone that could be your best ally against an even greater threat, which is the Upside Down Man. But guys, I'm going on here. Tell me what you think of Wonder Woman issue 56. I give this, from a story-wise, this is the best Wonder Woman comics that's come out in the last, well, frankly, since, I gotta be honest, since Rebirth. This is the best Wonder Woman comic that's come out since Rebirth. Better than all the Rucka comics, better than James Robinson run. This is just, it's interesting, it's fascinating, it's drama, it's high intensity. James Tynion gets these characters. Fun stuff, guys. Pick up Witching Hour. Go back, pick up Justice League Dark #3. Pick up Witching Hour Part 1. And until next time, Comic Boom out.